Good evening to you. What have the government got wrong in all of this? And what do you think should be happening longer term to make sure we don't find ourselves in this situation again?
Well, the government has caused all of this. It's caused it by spending irresponsibly and taking on huge quantities of debt, thinking that they could just print money and hand it out to people and that nothing bad would happen. This goes back. I mean, this is very similar to what British governments did in the 1960s and 1970s, and the result was exactly the same. Last time we had a cost of living crisis is the last time government just went crazy about spending without thinking about tomorrow. And of course, the Bank of England got it wrong by, again, monetizing the government debt and not seeing the consequence of all that COVID stimulus will going to result in inflation and not acting much faster and much more aggressively.
So what should, in terms of the future then, going forward, what should change to make sure we don't repeat this again?
Well, what we need to do is shrink the size of government, shrink the amount of responsibilities government have. What we need is to embolden the private sector to produce and manufacture and grow the economy, because with growth, wages rise and people rise out of poverty through economic growth, through having great productive jobs. That is a consequence of private activity. The government is not responsible for that. So if the government could get out of the business of trying to run businesses, if the government could get rid of regulations and unleash the British entrepreneurs to create and to build and to make, that is the solution. The solution is more capitalism. It's more freedom. It's a bigger and more robust private sector, and a significantly shrunken public sector. The public sector is not good at running an economy. Central planning does not work. The idea of taking over private utilities or private energy producers has been tried in the past. It always leads to disaster. The reason prices are not going up in France is because France is 70% electricity produced from nuclear. And if Britain would like its private sector to invest in nuclear power, it should. And the way to do that is to reduce the regulations over nuclear power. If the UK wants to reduce prices for electricity, it can allow private enterprise to start fracking and start producing domestic natural gas. So there are easy ways, by liberating the private sector, that we can get over this crisis and ensure that it doesn't happen again. What we need is more freedom, not less.